but it was a really quiet, first and second period.
Yeah.
And then every single penalty was called in the third period.
I
Constantly.
will say this though. You know what? I will say this.
Yeah.
And this is just as referees, when you play sports, the stripes are either going to be really good, they're going to be lenient. You don't know what type of attitude you're going to get from
Hmm.
your officiating crew. Sometimes they can be really bad. Sometimes you get a really bad crew.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got a crew that really calls a good game all the way through. But I think in a moment, where Lundstrom gets another goal, the game when you call it, you kind of gotta be, nothing really can fall through the rug. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I think it also does put a lot of pressure on the refs to try to call it the right way because it's so much pressure and the stakes are so high at the end.
Yeah. And to be fair, this is coming at a time, if you follow NHL news, that was the whole Tim Peel hot mic incident, and that's a big conversation just in hockey in general about parity and officiating. And you can tell, I mean, it's a big conversation right now that, we're not going to get into at this moment, but I'm a big fan of, again, like, calling the game as you see it, always
Yeah,
call penalties, whatever. This They got a lot of penalties, and so there was kind of these moments where you're like, oh my gosh, is this a comeback moment for Minnesota? They're going on the power play. Can they bring it to overtime? That
yeah,
was kind of the big thing. And then Minnesota would get a penalty, and then we're like, all right, oh my god, Minnesota, get it together. This is your one chance. um and then the other thing that happened, the Teresa Vanasova hit.
mhm.
Teresa Vanasova, Boston, she gets a major, and so she gets taken out of the game.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a, what was it? I think it was like a 4-on-3 for
One,
a hot
three.
second,
Yeah.
because there was like the major penalty and then there were like some minor penalties. I'm not kidding you. If you didn't watch it, it was penalties every second on everyone. But Teresa Vanasova, really
Yeah.
big hit, an ugly hit. I want to say it was on Audrey Shards. I'm
Yeah.
not positive on that, but what did you think when you saw that? Because she went down hard.
I'm gonna be honest, and maybe this comes from, like I said, a football. I tell you this all the time. I think things in football. I play
Yeah.
a high collision, high contact
Yeah.
sport. Um, Sometimes you could say some things are dirty, but
Hmm.
like not fair. But I mean, I feel obviously for the player involved, you think, you hope they're okay.
Yeah.
You obviously think of the wellness of the player,
Hmm.
but these things really happen in sports. Like ultimately, refs can penalize the players and things of these natures, but that is the nature of the beast sometimes. That is just the nature of sport. Like that's why
Hmm.
you put a helmet on and shoulder pads. You know?
Yeah.
And I know this just sounds like that sounds terrible, but this is coming from like a guy like I played football. Like I wouldn't have put the helmet and shoulder pads on if I didn't expect somebody to may. I've been injured before. I've been hit hard, like it happens. I
Hmm.
think the first thought is, you make sure the player is okay. And then, you kind of assess whether this is calls for a penalty or not.